Today we are discussing the RT16001 from Inco. It is the 1600 watt motor plunge router. I just want to quickly, before I start, let's just quickly talk about safety. Please make sure that all protective equipment has been worn. Please make sure that your eyes protected, your ears protected, and of course I always like to use gloves as well. So safety first. Moving on. Features of this machine. Quite simply, you want to turn the machine on and off. Here's your start, on and off button. Your spindle lock button. When changing router bits, obviously you will have to pull in your spindle lock it, and then you're able to either tighten or loosen the collet. The chip shield. Down when you want to put the bits in, you want to use the machine, put it back up again. It's just extra protection for your arm and flying debris. The step buffer. This step buffer, what it does, it is adjustable. By turning it either clockwise or anti-clockwise, you're able to adjust your cut. It works in 3mm increments. So it's a very quick way. You know, if you want to adjust your cut by 3mm by turning it clockwise or anti-clockwise, you just rotate your step buffer, and there you go. For fine adjustments, at the top here we have a fine adjustment knob. So for example, you want to set your cut to 3mm, you set it down to 3mm. Say you want to adjust it either up or down by 1mm or 2, you adjust it here either clockwise or anti-clockwise, and that is what this feature is for. This over here is your depth stop. Just by adjusting it, boom, there you know that is where you're going to stop your cut. So, that's how that works. This machine does come with an LED light already plugged in, or built in should I say, just to illuminate your work area. It's a very handy feature. It keeps things nice and bright, and you're able to see exactly what you're doing. At the rear of the machine, you have your clamping lever. So when you're ready to make your cut, you set your router bit, make sure that it's just touching on your wood. You clamp it, and then you can make all your fine adjustments for your cut. And then what you do, you can unclamp it, and off you go. Depending on what type of material you're using, you will obviously have to adjust your speed. You'll see on the side of the machine, you'll have a variable speed adjustment knob here. Guys, I cannot stress this enough. In order to protect your bits and accessories are expensive these days, so please refer to your manual. I think on our manual on page 6, it has a basic guide as to what speed setting you should be using according to whatever router bit you're using. Also depending on what sort of what sort of material we are working with. If it's aluminium, plastic, chipboard, softwood, hardwood. So please go through your manuals first before you start using the machines. Make sure you know what you're doing. It just obviously will prolong the life of your machine as well as your bits. What we're going to do now, we are going to insert a router bit. Please make sure that your machine is unplugged. Safety first. The spindle lock, or actually first of all, the chip shield, we fold down. The spindle lock, we push it in. Make sure that it locates. We turn it down on its side. Please make sure that when we insert a router bit, we don't insert it the full length of the shank. Just always make sure that we leave 5 or 7 mils when we do put it in. So we'll place it in, we leave the 5 or 7 mil gap, we tighten up the collet here, we make sure that it has been located properly. Okay, we hold down the spindle lock, it locates. We take our spanner, which is provided, and we tighten it up. Don't over tighten it, just give it a good nip. Double check your work, close your shield, you're ready to cut. The router bit is in, the chipping shield is down. We're going to plunge the router down onto the material. At the rear of the machine, we're going to lock it, and we want to set everything to 0. So we can then refine our cut. Our step buffer, normally I like to have it somewhere in the middle. and make sure that this is on 0. And then also we have to make sure that our fine cut is set to 0 as well. Now you can see over here there's a little arrow pointing to the center. By adjusting this, your fine adjustment knob, either clockwise or anti-clockwise, it's going to move that up or down. So what we do, we set that into the center. There it is there. And then over here we adjust that so that is set on 0. Now we're able to refine our cut. By moving this anti-clockwise, it steps in 3mm increments. So let's say we're going to make our cuts 6mm. There's 1 step, there's 2 steps there. So if I plunge it down now, it's going to give me a cut of 6mm. If I want to adjust it either up or down, by adjusting the fine adjustment knob, I can either subtract or add a mil or 2. Okay guys, what I'm doing, I'm busy making our picture frames. So out of this piece of wood, what I want to do, I want to cut in a 90-degree inlay where the glass is then going to be seated in there. So what I've done, I've gone and added on the guide fence. This is going to enable a nice straight cut along the edge of the wood. I've also gone and added on my dust extraction a piece here, which the hose is going to fit into, and it's obviously going to clean up all the wood shavings and debris. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put my router bit is on the corner of the wood. I'm going to lock it up, and then on the side here, if I turn this clockwise or anti-clockwise, I can then align my router bit precisely how I want it. Alright, so there we go. Ready to cut.